This is the ITGS Committee. I'm Councilwoman Perry, Chair, and I'm joined by Councilmember Joe Buscaino. And why don't we go through the consent items first?
Yes, Madam Chair, we can take items 1 through 3 on consent, and the remainder of the items 4 through 11 can be discussion items.
All right, great. First up then will be item 4.
For item number 4, the Department of General Services has submitted a report. This has to do with the lease for space located on Wilshire Boulevard for the Department of Building and Safety, West Los Angeles Commercial Residential Inspection.
Good morning. This is for Building and Safety's West Los Angeles Commercial and Residential Inspection Group. Where they're at now is the area where they service. Their lease expired back in June. We've been renegotiating with the landlord and looking at possible other spaces that would be more economically feasible for them to move into. After much discussion and a lot of research, we decided, along with Building and Safety, that this was the best place for them to be. We're saving about $48,000 a month on the lease right now, and more importantly, this is where Building and Safety is most effective in providing service in the West Los Angeles area.
Okay. Any comments? Okay. You want to move to approve? It's 2 out of 3 of us are here. Okay. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 is the Department of General Services again, and this has to do with the lease for office located at the Watts Civic Center, and this is for District 15 Field Office and the Police Department.
Again, this is a space that both Council District 15 and the Los Angeles Police Department had been in for quite some time. We renegotiated the lease. We pared down some of the space according to the needs of both LAPD and the council office. The council office is amenable to staying in the space. The Watts Civic Center office is one that was built by CRA back in the 80s, and I believe we'd like to continue the presence in the Watts area there.
Want to move to approve? Okay, move to approve. Second. Okay. Let's go on to item 6.
Item 6 is another lease, and this is for the Police Department Internal Affairs Division for offices located at the Bradbury Building.
This is for the Police Department's Internal Affairs Division in the historic Bradbury Building. They were originally moved in there, again, back in the 90s, when the building was first renovated, and they've been there ever since. LAPD would like to remain in the Bradbury Building. We have negotiated some favorable lease terms that you will see in here.
So why are they going to go over to Fig Plaza?
Huh?
Why?
During the renegotiation of the leases for the law firm that's in there now, we started talking with the LBBS, Lewis, Brisbane, and Smith law firm about possibly staying in Figueroa Plaza. After negotiating with them for almost a year and a half, it became much favorable for us to retain them in the building. One, they get to help pay down the debt service on the building. We have we paid $214 million. We'll probably go to the good about $60 million in these lease payments, which obviously will help well in paying this off. And the police department will eventually, in 2022 or 24, we still will have the opportunity to move them into the Bradbury Building during that time. But in the meantime, we'll enjoy generating some revenue, much needed revenue for the city.
Okay, great. Okay, move to approve with a second. All right, next item is 7.
7 is another lease, and this is for a 10-year agreement with College Track for an office located in Boyle Heights.
As As you know, the new Boyle Heights Neighborhood City Hall will soon come online. And as part of bringing tenants back and possible new tenants, one of the new tenants that came forward is College Track. College Track is a nonprofit entity that basically tracks young kids in junior high school and high school all the way through college, so that they not only matriculate through, but almost like pulling one up each step of the way. I believe both the mayor's office, the councilman of the district is very enthusiastic about putting this in the district. They have a long track record in other cities of being successful at this. They will do all of the tenant improvements in the building, again, which will help us as far as renovating the building. It won't be a general fund hit. It could be as much as $500,000 worth of tenant improvements, depending on what they want. They will share the conference room with the other tenants in the building, but most important, it should be little or no cost to the city, because they also will have agreed to looking at paying a proportional share of the custodial maintenance and utilities. And again, we're working those terms out right now. Hopefully, this will be very close to the nonprofit policy that has not been approved, and so we'll be in line with that. So if it's ever approved, this particular lease will fall in line with that.
Okay. Okay, move to approve with a second for me. On item 8, the Lock Wellness Center has been relocated into the 8th Council District. The council member of the 8th District has asked that this item be held in committee to allow him time to be briefed on the item. So if there's no objection to that?
No objection.
All right, great. We'll go on to 9.
For item 9, you have motion before you from Mr. Garcetti and Reyes. This has to do with the lease agreement with the United States Navy for the continued use of the fire department. And this lease will be for the period of August 1, 2012 through July 31st, 2017.
Okay.
Morning, council members. Deputy Chief Bursick with Training. This motion that you have before you is for the extension of our lease at Frank Hodgkin Memorial Training Center for another 5 years. It will take us until July 31st of 2017. It's our anticipation that we will acquire the facility before then. We are working very actively with the Navy now, with GSD, with Los Angeles County, and we are working through the process very aggressively, if you will. And we've had multiple meetings within the city of Los Angeles and also down in San Diego at the Navy facilities, and everyone is under the understanding that we want to move this through as quickly as possible to acquire the facility. But this would be a precautionary measure, if you will, in case something does arise that would extend it to by some extent. But as of this point, we hope to have the facility acquired by the City of Los Angeles from the Navy within 1 year.
Okay, and then what's your timeline on it?
This would actually extend us with our current agreement with the Navy for 5 years, and that was the timeline, so there's no changes in that contract whatsoever for the licensure with the Navy, but we're working through the process of acquiring the facility sooner, but this is part of that process of making sure we have a license with the Navy to move through this.
So then what this motion asks for is approval of we're not approving, we're re-upping the lease?
Correct.
Okay, all right, okay. All right. Motion to, second. All right, thank you. So this next one is yours. Okay. We're on to number 10.
Item 10 is the motion, Buscaino Perry instructing the Information Technology Agency to report on the status of the LACity.org redesign and to provide recommendations to expedite this particular site.
Good morning, council members. Mark Wolf, Executive Officer with ITA. With me is Madeline Pagu. She's the ITA Manager over the Web Services Group and the Project Manager for the LACity.org redesign project. Back in mid-November of last year, ITA reported to this committee on the status of the LACity.org redesign effort and demoed a beta test site at that time. Since then, we've made significant progress. We had a usability consultant conduct focus groups to test the navigation, user-friendliness, and the overall design of the website. With their input, along with input from constituents, businesses, and city staff, we have evolved the website into an innovative new design that we are excited to demo for you here this morning. We are targeting to launch the new website by mid-November. Between now and that time, we'll be working on the final testing of the website to ensure that departmental content is presented properly. Departments have played a key role in the categorization of more than 1,700 services that are in the citywide services database, so that residents and businesses accessing lecity.org will know who to contact, what the services entail, and the hours that the services are available, etc. Following the mid-November launch of the website, we'll continue to work with departments over the next 30-plus days to fine-tune the citywide services directory content to ensure that titles and descriptions that are in the database are public-friendly, avoiding use of acronyms and other bureaucratic jargon that's not easily understood by the public. We have been tracking the progress of lecity.org departmental content updates with a bi-weekly scorecard report that we share with general managers and their departmental coordinators. At this point, I'd like to shift gears and hand it over to Madeline Pagu, who will be providing you with a preview of the new lecity.org website.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm presenting to you the website that's currently in development, so it's accessible only from within our intranet site. But to give you an idea, this is our homepage. If you had seen the initial beta site, this is a totally different design from the initial site. So we really took the usability experts' feedback to heart and redesigned it to hopefully make it more user-friendly. And as you notice, we still have our key navigation here for residents, for businesses. We have one addition compared to the current website, which is for job seekers. There are a lot of city resources put into getting people connected with job opportunities within the city and within the city of Los Angeles. And we still have our citywide services directory easily accessible from the homepage, and that's where our 1,700 services live and are available for people to search if they want to still go directly to it. But from the homepage already, you can see that it's much cleaner. We provide a big area here to showcase, the visuals of the city of Los Angeles. Here in our highlights area, we actually try to do a mashup of more content than you usually have. So here, fortunately, we don't have a lot of content to display as our test content, but you can put flyer information, press releases, video. You can put everything that's related to this one announcement over here. So it's within just a little bit of space. People have access to a lot more content than they normally do on the current site. Here on the homepage as well, you have quick links to online services. So from within the homepage, people could make a payment, could click to submit a reservation, receive notification, view real-time GIS maps. So we're trying to show off a lot of our technology, and sometimes we don't have everything available, so that's part of the content cleanup efforts we're working with departments on. Apply for a permit or license, we display all of that here.
So Madeline, your content, you said you just mentioned that some city departments aren't responding to your concerns or your requests to get up to speed, literally. What are you doing on that end?
Well, we're being persistent. At the same time, we're showing them the pages that are blank, but technically what we're doing is we're getting general managers involved. We're going up the ladder as we're trying to, escalate this. But so far, departments have been responsive now that we've been doing the scorecards. But it is kind of difficult. A lot of departments are very concerned about the time that they have and the resources that they have to dedicate to this type of project. It is because even within our ITA, staff, it's been very hard to just clean up, and we have only like 11 services. So imagine some departments have 50 to 100 plus services. So we understand that it's difficult, but we've been trying to enforce some deadlines. Going back to the homepage, you could also see that we have a much bigger menu. What we try to do here is utilize the space to show most requested services. So utilizing stats from the 311 call center. So, for example, under for residents, the top requests have to do with graffiti removal and bulky item pickup, and so that appears amongst the top 10. So same thing for businesses, but again, we're still trying to clean this up. Sometimes graffiti removal will appear for businesses, even for city government as the top, but usually it should really only be for residents and maybe for businesses if they call to report graffiti cleanup. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do is innovate and mash up information and rank information.
And Madeline, if I could add, when Madeline was highlighting over for residents and the most requested services in that dark blue area there, it's dynamic, so it changes weekly. And so during the holidays, for example, Christmas tree recycling and pickup would show up right up at the top. So those types of things would happen throughout the year.
And you gauge that by the number of hits or the number of requests through 311?
The number of requests that come into 311.
Nice.
Here's another very innovative part that I haven't seen in other city websites is being able to display in real time what's live and what's on air online, either at Channel 35, because they stream their video basically online, and like for now, the Information Technology and General Services Committee is being streamed live, so it indicates it here. So anybody clicking on it will be able to hear us now. And another thing here is what's going on. This updates on hour-to-hour basis, actually maybe even 15 minutes. We run it to see if there's a new event happening now. So sure enough, there's, not now, I'm sorry, this is what's happening now, but what's on the calendar coming up. So for example, 9:30, there was a Board of Public Works meeting and they had their agenda posted for today. So past 9:30, this will come up, and then the next meeting, if there's one at 3 o'clock, will show up. So we try to use a lot of technology, a lot of time-sensitive technology to show the most current information.
So Madeline and her team, they really took a look at how to simplify the current site, because the current site is very overwhelming. It has so many different links on it. So here we're really trying to leverage information real time, and where it took multiple clicks to get to the calendar before, that information is presented immediately on the front page.
So utilizing more technology, we do this even in the underlying pages. So for example, here for businesses, most businesses are interested in finding out the latest bid opportunities. So as you can see here, this is actually coming from the labavn.org website, where all city departments post their latest bid opportunities. And we basically order it by the posted date. So the latest posted bid opportunity appears here on the top.
I have a question. Is there some place on there for somebody to sign on the website to get information in a particular category? For example, I interface with a lot of ethnic chambers and things like that, and they're always interested in bid opportunities. So is there some way to log on to the website and say, my name's blah, 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 this is my email, and I want to receive regular emails on whatever category they're interested in? Do you have that?
Currently, we do on the homepage have something that allows them to subscribe or receive notification. So if there is a online service available for people to sign up, and Bavin has a way to subscribe for notification, hopefully they'll be listed here.
So Councilwoman, to address your question, yes, the Business Assistance Virtual Network, which is the website where the city posts all the bid opportunities, it allows people to register and then select different categories of bid opportunities that they want to get notification on. So exactly with the scenario that you described, people would get notification.
And as another example, under city government, we're utilizing, again, RSS feeds, again, technology. And here's an example of our partnership with City Clerk. They provide us a feed of the top 10 most popular council files, and we place them here. So that's another example of utilizing feeds from other departments.
And again, similar to Councilman Buscaino's comment, it's based on the number of people accessing the council file management system and searching for a particular council file. That will dynamically change it so it'll show the top ones that are most accessed.
And one more last, under for job seekers, we actually have the latest city job opportunities from the personnel department. And right now, and we hope to expand this, there are some of the proprietary departments have, I believe, contracts with some organizations that help help advertise their job opportunities, but they're non-city, they're not non-civil service, but still they're job opportunities that the city has been helping connect constituents with. So we have that listed here as well.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, for seconding my motion here and moving this forward and hearing this in committee quickly. I want to thank both Madeline and Mark for the presentation. And Madeline, it's great to know that you're our webmaster when it comes to this. Obviously, you are you have the skills, knowledge, and ability to move this program forward and make sure we go live on mid-November. But okay, Tom's here.
Well, where you're here for 11.
I know, but could I fill out a card for this?
I was going to call on you next.
Thanks. Just on this issue, just the one thing on the top 10 issues, you have graffiti removal. What if we say community beautification / graffiti removal? Because then they're going to do, the first thing they're going to say if someone does a story on Los Angeles, they'll say, well, their two top thing is bulky items
That's
and
a
graffiti.
great
So
idea.
community beautification / and the other thing is a question, we have our neighborhood councils listed, but there's a whole variety of people who are the community advisory groups for the police department, the CPABs, the park advisory groups, the friends of the branch libraries, and maybe you could dig a little deeper. Those are all affiliated with the city, and they're different than a neighborhood association, which I don't, neighborhood association could be one person with a stationary. So I think official city groups may be greater to add to that. And I want you to change the music on 311. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Councilman.
So you want to move this?
Yeah, I do have a couple of questions. Some of the challenges, can you share with the committee some of the challenges you encountered since finding ways to launch this? I said it's essential that all of our departments participate in this to make this thing work.
Yes, thank you.
And if you can just share with us your challenges and how this committee can help and how the city council can help move this along.
Sure. To give you an idea of how long we've been working on this, we've been working on it actively for the past 3 years. And for the first 2 years, it was mostly development, mostly technology. But the past year has mostly been cleaning up content.
Content, right.
So as you can see from, I think there was a scorecard that Mark mentioned that we've been distributing biweekly. And what's going to be handed to you now is sort of a tally of how we've been tracking them. And it'll show you in reds, greens, and yellows sort of the quality of the content as we see it now. And there are dates also that show when we've evaluated the content. So some of the departments may have already been cleaning up their content, but this gives you an idea of the challenge that we have. As a technology group, we're not really in PR, we're not in communication, so it's something that ITA has been taking on to make this website launch and then not disappoint the constituents, because they can click around, but if the content they're reading doesn't make sense to them, the disappointment will be there immediately.
So if I could add, the table in front of you has a lot of information, but kind of to simplify it, the first grouping up at the top that's in light blue that says categorization evaluation, that was the essential process that we needed to have departments categorize the 1,700 services that are in the citywide services directory. Otherwise, that content wouldn't even show up on the city's website. Most of the departments are done with that. We're getting down to the end, and that's the essential piece that we need for launching the website for mid-November. The second part, the detailed evaluation, that's for going through and making sure that the descriptions and the titles of the services that are in the citywide services directory are not using acronyms and city jargon to make it more public friendly. That's really we're seeing as a second phase, and that's where we could really use your help in ensuring that departments continue to focus on this even beyond the launch date of November 13th that we're shooting for.
So I see here, it looks like LAWA, city attorney, city planning, personnel department, public works, Board of Public Works, and DWP.
Those are the stragglers.
Put a wanted flyer for these city
the
departments to get this
for the
thing
categorization.
launched by mid-November?
Yes, and the mayor's office is helping us on that part, for that first part.
Right.
The second part here for this
The detail.
detailed content cleanup, that's where we really could use some further assistance.
But if I can, Madam Chair, request that all city departments, including proprietary departments, make updates to their service information to citywide services directory based on their service info evaluation conducted by ITA and the Mayor's Performance Management Unit within 30 days,
It's a good idea.
and notify ITA when complete.
Are you going to give them a format in which to report? Okay, so everybody provides uniform information?
And secondly, Madam Chair, if I can instruct the ITA to report back to this committee in 45 days on the status of service information improvements for each department.
Great, second.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Labange, come on up on 11. And then also Todd, is it Godowski? Come on up. Why don't we have the description of item 11?
And item 11, it's a motion instructing the Chief Legislative Analyst and the Department of General Services to identify a location within the Los Angeles Mall that could be made available to the Los Angeles City Historical Society and its partners.
Madam Chair and member, the opportunity exists to share the great history with the people of Los Angeles. Just like this great effort that ITA is doing, our history is so valuable. Well, where do we share it? In most city halls, there is some avenue for people to go visually see. And when I learned of the transformation of the original tenant of the gift shop there, the Hallmark card, the family that was there, so that's going to be set. And it's going to take a while before General Services gets somebody in there. You don't have anybody go in there tomorrow, do you? Right. So here's what I'm saying. This is the classic broken windows concept. It's right at the gateway to the mall. And if we could work with the Historical Society, I am committing, Jan, my resources, working with the art community, working with the LA Tourism Board, trying to put life into that corner. And Todd, if you want to express what the Historical Society thinks. You've asked and asked and asked for a spot. I know there's Project Restore has a little room upstairs, which is nice, and I also know LA's Best has a room on the mezzanine, which is nice, but there's nothing here. And just with the Grand Avenue, with the Grand Hotel, Wilshire Grand being closed and the transformation, the Visitors Bureau now has been relocated to Union Station, and I'm sure they could use one here. And nothing brings me more excitement when I see people from around the world go to the top of this city hall, because this is a very special place that our history is so rich. So Todd, take it away.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, council members. Todd Godowski. I'm the president of the Los Angeles City Historical Society. The Historical Society is a small organization. We don't have a regular office space currently, but we've sponsored a number of publications that have highlighted the history of the city. That is our mission, is to highlight the history of the city of Los Angeles. You may have seen our 2-volume history of the evolution of city government from 1850 to 2000. We've sponsored a history written by one of our former board members, former Public Works employee, on the history of the sewer system in Los Angeles. We've recently worked with the city archives to put online an index of city officials from 1850 to the present. You are all listed in there. Those are the types of projects that the Historical Society works on. The Historical Society is the support group to the city archives. So we would love to have a space in City Hall where we could highlight these projects to the public, where we could help make visitors more aware of the city government's contribution to the growth of Los Angeles. And we would welcome the opportunity, especially to work with Councilmember Labange's office to have gallery displays. We would love this to be long-term, but we would be happy just to do it temporarily until a paying customer is found for the spot. We would just like to move in there and do what we can to promote the history of Los Angeles.
I just love the idea. I'm real excited about it, even more so when the school children come to see City Hall, and they come to, when we make the announcement, from each of the elementary school, high schools, number of universities that come visit us, it's a good opportunity for them to share, for us to share the history of this great city. So as long as we have a Tom Labange file and that we can honor him and maybe erect a
No,
cardboard
no,
statue of Tom. I don't know.
No, man, you can put that over on the...
Cardboard statue,
Cardboard,
right?
yeah, cardboard statue. Thank you, Joe. So blow away in the wind. You got a second from
Thank
Jan.
you.
Second that, that's good.
All right, thank you very much. It's
Okay.
approved.
Approved.
Yep,
Thank you. So we'll see you guys.
okay.
Okay, we'll figure it
That's
out.
the end of the agenda. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Anybody wishing to comment on items that are not on the agenda? This is the public comment period. Please come forward at this time. Seeing that there's no one coming forward, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.